Sunan Abi Dawud Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Jabir ibn Abdullah. The Prophet read the Quranic verse, "And take ye the station of Abraham as a place of prayer." Sunan Abi Dawud 3969 Reference 32 Hadith 1. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Aisha. A man got up, for prayer, at night. He read the Quran and raised his voice in reading. When the morning came, the Messenger of Allah said, "May Allah have mercy on so and so. Last night he reminded me a number of verses which I was about to forget." Sunan Abi Dawud 3970 Reference 32 Hadith 2. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Abdullah ibn Abbas. The verse "and no prophet could ever be false to his trust" was revealed about a red velvet. When it was found missing on the day of Badr, some people said, "Perhaps the Messenger of Allah has taken it." So Allah, the Exalted, sent down "and no prophet could ever be false to his trust" to the end of the verse. Abu Dawud said, "In the word Yagula the letter Ya has a short vowel A." Sunan Abi Dawud 3971 Reference 32 Hadith 3. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat. Anas b. Malik reported that Messenger of Allah as saying shocked face, "Allah, I seek refuge in thee from niggardliness and old age." Sunan Abi Dawud 3972 Reference 32 Hadith 4. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Laki ibn Sabira. I came in the deputation of Banu al-Muntafiq to the Messenger of Allah. He then narrated the rest of the tradition. The Prophet said, "La tasabana, do not think," and did not say, "La tasabana, do not think." Sunan Abi Dawud 3973 Reference 32 Hadith 5. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Ibn Abbas. The Muslims met a man with some sheep of his. He said, "Peace be upon you." But they killed him and took those few sheep. Thereupon the following Quranic verse was revealed. "And say to anyone who offers you a salutation, Thou art none of believer, coveting the perishable good of this life." Meaning these few sheep. Sunan Abi Dawud 3974 Reference 32 Hadith 6. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Zayd ibn Thabit. The Prophet used to read, "Not equal are those believers who sit at home and receive no hurt. Gairu Yula Durari." But the narrator said did not say the words used to read Sunan Abi Dawud 3975 Reference 32 Hadith 7. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Anas ibn Malik. The Messenger of Allah read the verse, "Eye for eye, al-ayn bil-ayn." Sunan Abi Dawud 3976 Reference 32 Hadith 8. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Anas ibn Malik. The Prophet read the verse, "We ordained therein for them life for life and eye for eye, and nafsa bin nafsi wal ayn bil ayn." Sunan Abi Dawud 3977 Reference 32 Hadith 9. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Abdullah ibn Umar. Atiyah ibn Sa'd al-Afi said, I recited to Abdullah ibn Umar the verse, It is Allah who created you in a state of helplessness, weakness, min daf. He said, Read, min doof. I recited it to the Messenger of Allah as you recited it to me, and he gripped me as I gripped you. Sunan Abi Dawud 3978 Reference 32 Hadith 10. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet read the verse mentioned above, min doof. Sunan Abi Dawud 3979 Reference 32 Hadith 11. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Ubay b. Kab. Say, in the bounty of Allah, and in His mercy in that let you rejoice. Sunan Abi Dawud 3980 Reference 32 Hadith 12. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Ibn Abzi. Ubay ibn Kab. Said, the Prophet read the verse. Say, in the bounty of Allah and in His mercy, in that let you rejoice. That is better than the wealth you hoard. Sunan Abi Dawud 3981 Reference 32 Hadith 13. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Asma daughter of Yazid. She heard the Prophet read the verse. He acted unrighteously. Innahu amilla gaira sala. Sunan Abi Dawud 3982 Reference 32 Hadith 14. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Salama, Ummul Mu'minin. Shar ibn Hashab said, I asked Salama, how did the Messenger of Allah read this verse? For his conduct is unrighteous, innahu amalan gairu sala. She replied, he read it, he acted unrighteously, innahu amila gaira sala. Abu Dawud said, this tradition has been transmitted by Harun al-Nawi and Muzabi. Caliph from Thabit is reported by the narrator Abd al-Aziz. Sunan Abi Dawud 3983 Reference 32 Hadith 15. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Ubay ibn Kab. When the Messenger of Allah prayed, he began with himself and said, May the mercy of Allah be upon us and upon Moses. If he had patience, he would have seen marvels from his companion. But he said, Moses said, If ever I ask thee about anything after this, keep me not in thy company. Then wouldst thou have received full excuse from my side. Hamza lengthened it. Sunan Abi Dawud 3984 Reference 32 Hadith 16. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Ubay ibn Kab. The Prophet read the Quranic verse. Thou hast received full excuse from me, min laduni, and put tashdid, doubling of consonants, on nun, n. Sunan Abi Dawud 3985 Reference 32 Hadith 17. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Abdullah ibn Abbas. Ubay ibn Kab made me read the following verse as the Messenger of Allah made him read. In a spring of murky water. Fi'in and Hamatan. With short vowel after h. Sunan Abi Dawud 3986 Reference 32 Hadith 18. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet said, A man from the Ilion will look downwards at the people of paradise, and paradise will be glittering as if it were a brilliant star. He, the narrator, said, in this way the word duri, brilliant, occurs in this tradition, that is the letter dal. D has short vowel u and it has no hamza. Abu Bakr and Umar will be of them and will have some additional blessings. Sunan Abi Dawud 3987 reference 32 Hadith 19. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Farwa ibn Musaik al-Gutayfi. I came to the Prophet. He then narrated the rest of the tradition. A man from the people said, Messenger of Allah, tell us about Saba. What is it? Land or woman? He replied, it is neither land nor woman. It is a man to whom 10 children of the Arabs were born. 6 of them lived in the Yemen and 4 lived in Syria. The narrator Uthman said al-Ghatafani instead of al-Gutayfi. He said, it has been transmitted to us by al-Hasan ibn al-Hakam and Nakai. Sunan Abi Dawud 3988 reference 32 Hadith 20. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet is saying, the narrator Ismail transmitted it from Abu Hurairah, and mentioned the tradition about the coming down of revelation. So far, is this the case, that when terror is removed from their hearts. Sunan Abi Dawud 3989 reference 32 Hadith 21. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Salama, wife of the Prophet. The reading of the following verse by the Prophet goes, Nay, but there came to thee, Jotki, my signs, and thou didst reject them. Faka dabti biya. Thou wast haughty, wastikbarti, and became one of those who reject faith, wa kunti. Abu Dawud said, this is a mursal tradition, that is the link of the companion has been omitted, for the narrator al-Rabi did not meet Salama. Sunan Abi Dawud 3990 reference 32 Hadith 22. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Aisha, Ummul Mu'minin. I heard the Messenger of Allah read, there is for him rest and satisfaction, faruhun wa rayhan. Sunan Abi Dawud 3991 reference 32 Hadith 23. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat Safwan b. Yalla quoting his father said, I heard the Prophet read on the pulpit the verse, they will cry, O Malik. Abu Dawud said, that is, without shortening the name, Malik. Sunan Abi Dawud 3992 reference 32 Hadith 24. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Abdullah ibn Masud. The Messenger of Allah made me read the verse, it is I who give, all, sustenance, Lord of power, steadfast, forever. Sunan Abi Dawud 3993 reference 32 Hadith 25. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat narrated Abdullah ibn Masud. The Prophet used to read the verse, is there any that will receive admonition, mudakir. That is with doubling of consonant, dal, d. Abu Dawud said, the word mudakir may be pronounced as mim, m, with a short vowel u. Dal, d, with a short vowel and kaf, k, with a short vowel I. Sunan Abi Dawud 3994 reference 32 Hadith 26. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Habir ibn Abdullah. I saw the Prophet reading the verse. Does he think that his wealth would make him last forever? Sunan Abi Dawud 3995 reference 32 Hadith 27. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Abu Kilaba, that the Prophet made a man read the verse. For that day his chastisement will be such as none else can be chastised, and his bonds will be such as none other can be bound. Abu Dawud said, according to some scholars, there is a narrator between the narrator Khalid and Abu Kilaba. Sunan Abi Dawud 3996 reference 32 Hadith 28. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Abu Kilaba. A man whom the Prophet made the following verse read informed me, or he was informed by a man whom a man made the following verse read through a man whom the Prophet made the following verse read. For that day his chastisement will be such as none else can be inflicted. Layuad Dabu. Abu Dawud said, Asim, al-Amash, Talha b. Musarif, Abu Jafar Yazid b. al-Kaka, Shayba b. Nasa, Nafi b. Abd al-Rahman, Abd Allah b. Kathir al-Dari, Abu Amr b. al-Allah, Hamzat al-Zayat, Abd al-Rahman al-Arij, Qatada, al-Hasan al-Basri, Mujahid, Hamid al-Arij, Abd Allah b. Abbas and Abd al-Rahman b. Abi Bakr recited. For that day his chastisement will be such as none else can inflict. Layad Dibu. And his bonds will be such as none other can bind. Wala Yathik. Except the verse mentioned in this tradition from the Prophet. It has read Uad Dabu with short vowel in passive voice. Sunan Abi Dawud 3997 reference 32 Hadith 29. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Messenger of Allah related a tradition in which he mentioned the words Jibril and Mikael and he pronounced them Jibrila wa Mikaela. Abu Dawud said, Caliph said, I did not put the pen aside from writing letters, Huruf, for 40 years. Nothing tired me, or made me incapable of writing. Even Jibril and Mikael did not tire me. Sunan Abi Dawud 3998 reference 32 Hadith 30. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Messenger of Allah mentioned the name of the one who will sound the trumpet, Sahib as Sir, and said, on his right will be Jibrail and on his left will be Mikael. Sunan Abi Dawud 3999 reference 32 Hadith 31. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Ibn al-Musayyab. The Prophet, Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman used to read Maliki Yawm Din, Master of the Day of Judgment. The first to read Maliki Yawm Din was Marwan. Abu Dawud said, this is sounder than the tradition which transmitted by al-Zuhri from Anas, and al-Zuhri from Salim, from his father, Ibn Umar. Sunan Abi Dawud 4000 reference 32 Hadith 32. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Salama, Mu'minin. The Messenger of Allah used to recite, in the name of Allah, the Cherisher and Sustainer of the worlds, most gracious, most merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment, breaking its recitation into verses, one after another. Abu Dawud said, I heard Ahmad b. Hanbal say, the early reading is Maliki Yamil Din. Sunan Abi Dawud 4001 Reference 32 Hadith 33. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Abu Dair. I was sitting behind the Messenger of Allah who was riding a donkey while the sun was setting. He asked, "Do you know where this sets?" I replied, "Allah and His Apostle know best." He said, "It sets in a spring of warm water, Hamaya." Sunan Abi Dawud 4002 Reference 32 Hadith 34. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Ibn al-Aska. The Prophet came to them in the swelling place of immigrants, and a man asked him, "Which is the greatest verse of the Quran?" The Prophet replied, "Allah, there is no God but He, the living, the self-subsisting eternal. No slumber can seize Him nor sleep." Sunan Abi Dawud 4003 Reference 32 Hadith 35. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Sharik. Ibn Masud said, read the verse, "Now come, thou, hate Alaka." Then Sharik said, "We read it, Hitu Laka, I am prepared for thee." Ibn Masud said, "I read it as I have been taught, it is dearer to me." Sunan Abi Dawud 4004 Reference 32 Hadith 36. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Sharik. Abd Allah b. Masud was told that the people had read this verse. She said, "Now come, thou, hate Alaka." He said, "I read it as I have been taught, it is dearer to me." It goes wa qualat hate Alaka. She said, "Now come thou." Sunan Abi Dawud 4005 Reference 32 Hadith 37. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Messenger of Allah said, "Allah, the Exalted, said to the children of Israel, but enter the gate with humility, in posture and in words, and you will be forgiven your faults. Tufar lakum." Sunan Abi Dawud 4006 Reference 32 Hadith 38. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat. The tradition mentioned above has also been transmitted by Hisham b. Sa'd with a different chain of narrators in a similar way. Sunan Abi Dawud 4007 Reference 32 Hadith 39. Sunan Abi Dawud, Dialects and Readings of the Quran, Kitab al-Huruf wa al-Qiraat, narrated Aisha. The revelation came down to Messenger of Allah, and he recited to us a surah which we have sent down and which we have ordained. Faradnaha. Abu Dawud said, "The letter Ra, R, is the word Faradnaha has short vowel A, without doubling of consonant R," and then he reached the verses after this verse. Sunan Abi Dawud 4008 Reference 32 Hadith 40.